Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to our Sunday evening podcast. I am here with Scott Milne, IFBB Pro. Good to have you, buddy.
Good, how are you?
These guys, yeah, where's my... We'll give you a cheers, yeah. There you go. A little green tea and a big thing of water. Sorry for the delay tonight. We also are missing one of our troopers tonight. We're missing Paulie, so we want to wish Paulie the best of luck. He's got a speaking engagement tonight. So Paulie, I think we missed you, buddy, but I think you're on at 7:15, so best of luck to you. Also, I don't know if you knew this, but Paulie's been out doing speaking engagements for the OPP.
I heard that.
Yeah, so for those of you that are watching from the US or from other spots of Canada, wherever you are around the world, Ontario, we're from London, Ontario right now, and OPP stands for Ontario Provincial Police. So Paulie is giving them a talk about how to implement proper mental health procedures and to his best ability, basically just filling them in on how to be the first responders to someone that might be going through a mental health difficulty. The reason why this is important is because a lot of the people that first get mental health treatment do so because they recognize it through getting in trouble with the law. So they've probably been to some type of court system, and they've realized, okay, maybe this guy has some mental health issues, he needs to go seek counseling. So it's kind of ass backwards in the sense that people are getting charged and getting in shit.
And then they get help.
And then they get help, right? So that's something that we're working on, and obviously it's something that needs to change. So by the OPP, and we got to give them a shout out and commend them for taking the initiative of trying to become more, better equipped in the training department when it comes to mental health. So, and Scott and I are no strangers to the OPP, right, buddy?
Yeah.
So all of us obviously have made mistakes. Paulie's got a history with the OPP. It's kind of funny that we're kind of working together with them now. Once upon a time, we had our own mental health struggles that we were trying to overcome, and we'd like to think that we're new men trying to make a difference in the world, right? And we're all very open and honest about our past experiences. So shout out to the OPP and the followers that are watching from the police department. Shout out to all the newcomers that are watching this evening. And 1 in 5 in Paulie's page, I think if you guys aren't watching this now, he's going to be sharing this with you when he's done his speaking engagement. So good job, Paulie. Went and saw him, and he did a fantastic job when I saw him.
I want to see him.
Yeah, so his story is very impactful, and got to contribute a little bit with the London department of the OPP. So thanks for having me as well, guys. It was a pleasure to be there, and we hope that you get something out of our information here. So for anyone that's new this week, we're following a cognitive behavioral therapy program to attack stress, anxiety, and depression. We are now on we're on session number 4. This is week 5. But the first week was an introduction where we introduced ourselves. So Scott told you a little bit about him. I told you a little bit about me. Paulie told you guys a little bit about him. And you can go back to all of those videos are either on previous Facebook Live, or you can find the edited versions, which kind of cut down on basically setup time. So it's best to watch those through our YouTube channel. You can find the link and the webpage link on the Sex and Suicide page right now. So go ahead and do that if you want to later after this. So tonight, the topic is expectations. Last week was self-talk. Scott, we missed you, I guess 2 weeks ago. So so Scott couldn't make it a few weeks ago. So session 3, self-talk, do you have anything that you want to go over with that? I mean, you thought that was a pretty good session, right?
I did.
Yeah. Anything you want to recoup on, or?
No?
Okay, not right now. Okay, so we're going to go into...
I don't have my notes with me.
Oh, that's okay. You can read off mine. So we're doing session number 4, expectations. How to expect less and get more. So let's just dive right into it, I guess.
This one made me get heated up.
Did it?
Yeah.
What made it? What was it about this one that got you heated?
I guess just having expectations of other people.
Yeah.
As if it was the same as me.
Right.
Right. Like I'd expect them to react a certain way or do certain things a certain way based on because I would. Like that's how I would as a friend. I would have their back and do this.
Right.
And other things. And when they don't, it's such a letdown. I get so fucking angry about it.
Right.
So
for example, so you have a big heart. So if a friend was in trouble, you'd want to go help them. But if they didn't,
for sure.
But if they didn't do the same for you, you'd be like, "Fuck! Like I would have done that for them." I understand that. So A lot of anxiety and depression and the feelings of stress, they come from feelings of low self-esteem and feelings that we're inferior or not good enough, and feeling like maybe we're phony, meaning that if people really knew how insecure we were, we wouldn't live up to their expectations or even our own. So we wouldn't feel good about ourselves, and they wouldn't feel good about us either. So I appreciate what you're saying, because we put expectations when you're dealing with stress, anxiety, and depression. A lot of the traits and qualities that we have are being perfectionists, or being expecting a lot out of ourselves and expecting that same from other people. So when people let us down or we let ourselves down, we're pretty fucking hard on ourselves, right? Would you say that?
Yeah.
I mean, Scott, for those of you that don't know Scott did a lot of bodybuilding over the years. A little, right? And you probably had some pretty fucking high expectations for yourself. Like, what, were you hard on yourself when you were perfect? Because obviously, yeah. But I mean, every
workout, you're hard on yourself.
And how did that take a toll on us, Michael? Like on your mental psyche?
At the time, it was great, because that's what drove you for more, right? You were never perfect, so
right.
It kept you striving for more.
Have you ever been perfect?
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you? Was there a time where you thought you could hit perfection?
Yeah, there was.
Really? You actually believed you could be perfect?
Yeah.
What did that look like in your mind? Just out of curiosity.
I don't know.
Yeah?
I don't know, mentally perfect, but physically.
Right. Physically.
Striving for it, right?
Striving for physical
we never
perfection.
think we're good enough. That's what keeps us driving for more and keeps that drive going.
Right.
So in one sense, it's really good.
Yeah.
And on the other sense, it's really bad.
Right. I think, and we'll get to that, but I think the thing with expectations, they play a really important role here, because if we're feeling let down, that puts you in a depressed state.
Yeah.
Whether other people are letting you down, whether you're letting yourself down, obviously it's not a good spot to be in. So a lot of it stems from expectations of ourselves, expectations about situations in our lives, expectations about other people, and we're often the type of people who are let down by ourselves over and over again, and we're very easily let down by other people. You've already expressed how you get let down fairly easily by others. And a lot of the people that we get let down by, too, are people that we care about the most,
yes.
Which is
the people that we wouldn't think would let us down.
You're right, exactly. So when that happens, and when that happens, that's just a blow, a massive blow. So we often try to do things perfectly, as we were talking about, or else we won't do them at all. For example, this podcast, this is a great example tonight, because if I wanted this to be perfect and we wanted to have a perfect evening, we wouldn't be starting at 7:15. I would have the microphone working. We had a bunch of fuck-ups tonight. That's why we're running late. But this is stuff that, it's technology. It happens sometimes. I don't know why the computer crashed beforehand. But we worked through it. So we realized that this isn't going to be perfect. We're not perfect. You guys aren't perfect either. I hate to break it to you. But as long as you're just doing your best, be proud of that. Don't kind of switch your thinking around, right? So that... Yeah. You're being proud of yourself for the little things that you do, rather than beating yourself down for the major things you're not accomplishing.
If you set smaller goals all the time, I found that you could reach each time, you see yourself progressing, so it was easier and easier.
Right? To kind of, to get to where you want to go.
Right?
Yeah, sure. So if you're someone that is constantly disappointed in yourself and disappointed in others, the expectations people with anxiety and depression have are usually completely ridiculous. So... They cause an immense amount. Yeah, I mean these are Lucinda Bassett's words, just out of curiosity, or just out of putting that out there. But they cause an immense amount of anxiety and disappointment. So it can be heartbreaking, because we usually want to blame someone else for the way that we feel. Mm-hmm. We just have to learn to accept the fact that most of the time things aren't going to go right. Things don't go as planned or as expected. Things are going to go wrong, and life won't always be fair or work out the way we want it to. Things aren't perfect. Right? But that doesn't mean you can't be grateful. This is just stuff that we have to realize. Anyway, so...
People are shitty.
Yeah, sure. And thank goodness for that. I mean, if we were perfect, no one would like us. Because no one likes a perfect person, right? I mean, everybody's striving for perfection. But isn't it refreshing when someone... Like, I know that when you said, yeah, man, I struggled with low self-esteem once upon a time. It's like, oh, this guy, actually this big... guy that looks super strong, he's being vulnerable right now. He's telling me, hey, he's not as strong as he is on the outside. That made me feel like connected to you in a way. right?
Perception's a big thing.
Yeah, exactly. But if you were perfect like that, I mean, people might be more intimidated. That's an open gateway for someone to kind of connect with you, right? So I think that's kind of cool. So life's more exciting when we can't anticipate everything ahead of time.
You'd have a lot of friends if you were perfect.
Would you? Yeah.
Everybody wanted to be you.
Well, I don't think it'd be the real
friends.
friend though, right? Like it'd be people.
Well, no.
And then what would they be saying about
true real friends?
Right. And what would they be saying behind your back? You don't know that, right?
Same thing everybody else is saying behind your back.
Are you having a tough time these days, buddy? What's going on?
No, it's a little.
Yeah, fair enough. So we appreciate when things go right much more when so often that they go wrong.
Yeah.
Are you so?
No.
So I mean, lately, would you feel like things are going good for you, or are you having a lot of hurdles in your life, or are things going fairly decent right now?
Some hurdles.
Some hurdles?
Going, like things are going. I'm just waiting for the couple big pieces to
fall into place.
Yeah.
Okay. And what are your expectations like with that?
I get really excited
Yeah.
because I know if I get this one particular job, like it'll change so much.
Right.
I'll probably have to move.
Congratulations.
I'm not.
Yeah, congratulations for that interview, by the way.
Thanks.
Uh-huh.
But I'm not. At the same time, I'm not like trying to get really excited about it.
Right.
Because usually nothing good happens in my life.
Oh,
so,
Scott, poor Scott.
well,
Man.
no, so like I'm just trying not to get excited, right?
Right.
And then I've got other things as a backup just in case. And
Sure,
if it doesn't,
sure.
It's not meant to be. It's not meant to be.
Well, doing this podcast is helping people, I think, man. So I mean, that's a good thing that you've got going on. And so when things aren't working out, as long as you're putting out good energy and trying to make a difference, I think good things will start to happen.
When I had
Hopefully.
when I had the interview for the one job, and I told them about this, they were quite shocked.
Good.
They were like, wow, that's amazing.
Good. Well, we're trying, right? I mean, we're not perfect. We don't have all the answers. We're just kind of trying to follow this and do the best ourselves, right? So, very often we'll get dealt the hand that we don't even want. We have to learn to stand firm, stand up for ourselves, be as strong as we can to get through challenges of life. So be happy for the good things because life isn't easy, as Scott mentioned. Life isn't about always being perfect. Life isn't about always being happy. We're not going to feel happy all the time. That's not reality. Vacations won't always be perfect. Family gatherings won't always be perfect. And people, especially people, are going to let us down. People aren't always going to be honest. They aren't always going to treat us the way that we want that we treat them. They aren't always going to remember our birthdays, and they aren't always going to be fair to you. The thing we do have control over is how we choose to react and respond to all these things that could disappoint us. We choose whether we are going to get that way or not. So, are we going
into your house and steal from you?
Scott's been through a lot lately, guys. When was that, anyways? If that happened,
This July will be 2 years.
2 years. 2 years. So, Scott's still.
You gotta love the London police. You know, they have two people that are witnesses.
Well, we don't
put the person right in there, and they don't want to do anything about it.
Well, hey. We're expectations, right? Expectations. So,
don't expect anything from them.
Well,
Bunch of lazy assholes.
uh-oh. Well, we have some police officers watching right now, so anyway.
You didn't do your job, so.
All right, well, the things we do have control over is how we choose to react and respond to all these things that could disappoint us. We choose whether we're going to go that way or not. We choose our attitude towards the situation around us. We may not be able to control the situation, but we can always choose how we will react and respond and how we are going to feel inside.
That's the big one.
Which one's this?
The how you choose to react and respond.
Right.
Like I've read that over in so many different things, and my dad has given me books and stuff too. You know, like you can't control everything, but the only thing you can control is how you react to it. So.
Right. So we can control how we react to any situation that's presented to us. And as long as we have our health, whatever happens, it's going to be okay. Do you agree? I mean, if it's not a life or death situation, there's going to be things that stress us out. For instance,